Minister, I asked you questions, a priority question on the 6th, and you responded on the record, and you set out the process. But you had already spoken to a lobbyist on behalf of INM on the 11th, and that's what you have told us on the record. Did it not strike you as strange that he was telling you what the Consumer and Competition Authority was, and given that you have a quasi-judicial function in this particular matter, would you have not realised that you needed to say, I cannot talk to you on this issue because this decision is part of a process, the process that you outlined to me? Do you accept that by talking to him and telling him what you did tell him, that it would probably go to the BAI, that in fact you misled the Dáil when you came in here on the 6th and outlined the process without telling us that?
No, I didn't mislead the Dáil, because what I told the Dáil is that when I received the report from my officials, that I would make a decision based on that report. And that's what I told Mr Naughten in that telephone conversation. And that was the only new information that Mr Naughten would have received in relation to that. I didn't have any insider information. I didn't have any information provided to me at that stage. And I have said that it would be preferable if the conversation hadn't taken place. But I again reiterate that by no means was I expressing a definitive view, nor could I at that time, because there was nothing in front of me or with the department at that stage.
Minister, do you accept that it was an error of judgment to continue with that phone call? Do you accept that not notifying your officials that the phone call had taken place, or did you notify your officials that the phone call had taken place, and what the nature of the phone call was? If it was a question that you didn't notify your officials, that again was an error in judgment. Can you respond to that, please?
Minister, to conclude, please. No, I didn't inform my officials because at the time there was no active file within the department. I had made it quite clear to Mr Naughten that I would be following the advice of my officials, and I've already said that I'd have preferred that this conversation hadn't taken place. It did, but I made it crystal clear at the time that I would be basing my decision based on the advice that I would receive from my officials, and I wouldn't deviate from that. And the view and perspective that I gave was based on the information that all of us had that was in the public domain, based on the guidelines and procedures that are in place, that are there on our website, and the scale of this. And that's consistent with the commentary from Deputy Stanley here in the House, that's consistent with the commentary by the National Union of Journalists and other commentators in this area outside of this jurisdiction.